recording and that we're live on Facebook. And then we shall go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to session B for the Healthy Living classes with Fresh on Deck Mobile Farmers Market. Today is week one, or this is week one of the 8 weeks that we'll be together. And so this is just classes. These are the same set of classes from session A. So if you missed classes, or if you just want more information, or if you're here for the word of the week, then these are the classes that we're going to have for the next 8 weeks. And so these classes are pre-recorded, or not pre-recorded, they're recorded. They'll be on Facebook Live. They'll also be up on our YouTube channel, and then they'll also be up on our website through our YouTube channel. If anybody missed it, or if people aren't on social media, or if you missed the live class, or somebody that you know missed the live class, then you can tell them to check it out there so that they can get the information and also the word of the week for watching our class for today. So let's get right to it. I just want to start off by saying that this lesson is adapted from a lesson developed and tested by the University of Pittsburgh. It is based on a diabetes prevention program, but you do not have to have diabetes in order to receive information from this program. And so what I'll say to preface everything is that we're going to be talking about our goals, like last session A, if you were here for that. We'll be talking about our goals and goals that you have for yourself. So if what I'm talking about doesn't apply to your goals, it doesn't apply to you, then just leave it where it is. If it does apply to you, then try to work it into your life. But let's just go from there. So our objectives of this class is just how eating less fat and calories can fit into a healthy eating plan, 2 methods of meal planning, how to choose healthier fats, the values of vegetables, whole grains, and fruits, and then also how to begin to be more active. Those are some ways that we can just be more holistically healthier, to just incorporate the way that we eat and being more active. So if that is a part of your goals, like I said before, then this is for you. So what exactly is healthy eating? It's when you eat, it's how you eat, and it's also what you eat. But healthy eating is more than just cutting fat and calories. It includes eating like your regular meals and snacks, eating slowly and consciously, eating until you're satisfied and not necessarily until your plate is clean. And then also making healthier food choices as well. So all those things factor into healthy eating. So it's not like the latest fat diet or whatever the case may be. That's not a part of that. This is just making healthier food choices when and how and what we are eating. So when you eat, we want to try to make sure that we're getting at least 3 meals per day, about every 4 to 6 hours. So that means that you'll be less likely to get too hungry, and then you're less likely to eat the types of foods that you may be wanting to avoid, if that is something that you're wanting to do. And so, yes. So also how you eat is serving smaller portions and eating slowly, taking small bites and chewing thoroughly, and then also putting your fork and spoon down in between bites so that we're not eating too quickly, because it does take your brain about 20 minutes to talk to your stomach. And so when we're eating, you're eating your food or whatever, and it takes your brain and your stomach a few minutes for it to talk to each other, and so that you'll know that you are actually full and not overeating, or if you're under eating, if you're still hungry. And so we want to give our bodies and our brains time to catch up to each other. And so that is a part of just taking more smaller bites and being more conscious while we're eating, because you can be distracted and you just end up eating all your food and you don't even realize, or whatever the case may be. And so a lot of us were taught as children to clean our plates. That was, the clean plate club, whatever it is. You can't get up from the table unless you've eaten everything on your plate type thing. And so no one is telling you to do this now. So you can decide about how much you need to eat and how much to eat until you are actually full and satisfied. So to control portions, we want to try to think about putting less on your plate than you normally would, and then eating slowly, putting your food down, putting your forks down in between bites. Like I was saying, chewing your food thoroughly just to digest it better as well. And so by eating more slowly, you're noticing the flavors and the textures of the food, and you're enjoying your food more because, we sit and make the food and then we scarf it down and that's just dinner, and so we're always leading busy lives. And so we just want to make sure that we are just enjoying eating the food that we have prepared for ourselves, instead of trying to eat just to go do something else, right? And so a lot of healthy eating is adding in a lot of things. And so we want to think more about what can we add into our diet instead of what can we take away? Because, we're always going to like the cookies and the snacks, whatever the case may be, but what can we add in to supplement those things that we might eat that might not be the healthiest for us? And so adding in more fruits and vegetables and low-fat dairy. If you do drink dairy products, some people don't, like I don't. Adding in more whole grains, adding in more lower fat proteins, but then we want to think about some things that we might want to decrease as well, such as our sodium intake or our added sugars, our fats and cholesterols, and alcohol in moderation. So it is about adding in more things, but then there's some things that we can reduce, like if we have high blood pressure or things like that, other types of diseases that we want to regulate ourselves by what we're eating. So that's also a part of that as well. So if you have ever seen the My Plate, we've talked about it before in past classes. We talked about it last session. This is the My Plate. It is a dinner plate. As we can see, it looks like a placemat for like children. We put the plate on the placemat or whatever. And so this is just kind of what we want to try to model in our everyday eating, in our everyday lives. And so this is something that if you are looking to say that you want to increase your fruits and vegetable intake or something like that, then this is a model that you can look physically and see your plate and see what you're actually doing on it. So half of our plate on the left is fruits and vegetables. And so that is what we want to try to increase as well. And then we also have our grains and our proteins and our dairy on the side. It comes in a cup, like a cup of milk, but it doesn't have to be just a cup of milk. I don't know anybody that drinks cups of milk anymore, but like your cheeses or things like that, you could add your dairy into your plate that way. And so we wanted to just try focusing on foods from all the food groups that helps ensure that we get a variety of nutrients and vitamins and minerals and fiber in addition to our energy and calories, because calories are the energy that we use just to operate our daily lives and our bodies to get going. So we want to make sure that we're getting enough so that we are able to function properly. And so if you are wanting to try to model, or if you want to look at more information, you can go to myplate.gov, and that will have a lot of good information on there talking about if you're looking at expanding your palate and looking at what types of grains there are, what types of other proteins there are, other types of vegetables that there are, then you can go on that website and they'll have lots of good information as well. So this is just the My Plate in action, because so that we can see like actually what it is. And so see it here on the left, it has like our fruits and vegetables. The plate is turned the other way, but if it was the fruits and vegetables are on the left side and you have your grains and your protein. And so we can actually physically see what that looks like. But then also there are like pasta dinners or omelets and things like that, where the My Plate isn't so broken up and a lot of different categories are put together. So like our vegetables, protein, and grains might be one meal, like one casserole type thing. And then also our dairy as well, if you add cheese into that or something like that. And then the only thing left to add to our plate is a fruit or something like that. And so there's different ways of looking at your My Plate. So you can have here where everything is separate, like chicken nuggets, vegetables, fruit, grain, or it could be like one big casserole dish or like a grain bowl or something like that. So you don't have to divide it into that big circle if you don't want to. You can always mix it up like that. So these are just some foods that we want to try to increase, like I was saying before, filling half of our plate with fruits and vegetables, making at least half of our grains whole grains, and switching to low-fat or fat-free dairy foods, if that is something that you are looking to do. And then some things that we want to possibly change is comparing sodium in foods like soup, breads, and frozen meals, because those are some of the highest processed foods that there are that have a lot of sodium in there. So if you are looking to decrease some sodium or decrease added sugar, things like that, we want to try to go to the grocery store and actually comparing the foods that we're buying just to see what might be the best there is in the grocery store that you want to choose for yourself and your family. And so we want to just try to compare, especially with sodium, soups and canned vegetables, breads and frozen meals. Those seem to have a lot of the higher sodium. So you want to try to look for foods that don't have, or say they have reduced sodium or no sodium added or no sugar added. Those are the types of foods that we want to try to get. And then also drinking water instead of sugary drinks, because you know, we can drink our calories, we can drink the sugar and we don't even realize it. You know, you drink 2 cans of a soda, and that's a lot of sodium. I mean, not a lot of sodium, that's a lot of added sugars. And so, or sports drinks or sweet teas or things like that. So if you're wanting to try to just add in an extra cup of water or add in 2 extra cups of water. And so you can just be cutting that out. The average adult in the US consumes nearly 400 calories per day from just beverages. So by cutting out those extra calories, you could be better for it as well, especially the added sugar as well. And then also we want to try to look out for fad diets, things that promise quick weight loss, things that make claims based on testimonials and not exactly scientific evidence. Sure, the testimonials are great, but they can also be paid testimonials as well. Unlimited amounts of some type of foods, removing an entire food group, listing things that are good and bad. And then also contradicting major health organizations. So in our, I believe it was our session 8, is where we talk about that diet and making sure that we are looking at the who, what, where, when, and why, going back to the great school of it, of looking at what information that we're getting and if it's reputable or not. And so this is just one of the things that we want to look out for, because here on the right, we see it's like the diet cycle, whereas you start a diet and then you have to, you know, whatever the diet says, you have to restrict and you have to take away entire things. And I can't eat bread on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, like, you know, things like that. So you restrict and then you feel deprived and tempted, and then you have cravings and then you give in to the cravings, and then you feel guilty and have low self-esteem and poor confidence, whatever those feelings that you have, and then you start that back over again. And so we want to try to break out of that diet cycle, and instead of starting a diet or specific thing, just adding in more whole fruits and vegetables, and adding in lower fat proteins, and those are the things that can be sustainable. And so if that is one of the goals that you're looking to have, like I want to start eating healthier, or I want to do this, we'll talk about that, how to get into those goals and make them specific for you. And then each day, we just want to try to include a variety of foods from every food group. I know it gets tempting to eat the same foods all over every time, but if you want to just try something new or have a little diversity in the foods that you try, have a little variety in it, then try something new from every food group. Choose lower fat and lower calorie foods, and get at least 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and then making half of your grains whole. We're just wanting to add in more things for you. And so next is going to be the recipe of the week. It is stir-fry cabbage. We do have cabbage for sale this week with the Fresh on Deck Mobile Farmers Market. So if you're looking to buy a cabbage this week, we will have it at our locations. We also have some kale as well. So we have some really good leafy greens for you all this week. And I'll show you the recipe of how to make that stir-fry cabbage. So give me just a So we will have the recipe available for you all to take home with you. If you're looking to see all that's in there, it's just a little bit of chicken bouillon cube and garlic powder and black pepper, a little green pepper, green peppers as well. So if you want to give that recipe a try, then just come to Fresh on Deck this week. I'll have our schedule of our new locations for this this set of 8 weeks for our session B. So I'll have all that information for you at the very end. So we want to try to get at least 3 food groups per meal. So an example would be whole wheat toast, peanut butter and low fat milk. These are just examples. Maybe this is something that you want to try. Chili, side salad, apples, flavored water. This goes for like, if you think about when we are eating out as well. So we want to try to get some different food group sides. So if we're ordering a chicken dish or something like that, we want to try to get 2 different types of sides so that we can eat our like leafy greens and things like that, adding in our food groups as well, and just being more mindful when we are actually eating out as well, because I told this story last year, I believe, how I was eating out and you don't even really think about it. I wasn't really looking at the menu. I was talking with friends and I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a baked potato and I'll get a side of fries. And you get your 2 sides, and I ended up getting 2 potatoes. And I was like, and she was like, are you sure that's not what you want? And I had to go back and be like, oh, let me get something else because I just got 2 sides of potatoes, which, it is what it is. But also you have to be mindful when you're doing things like that, because it could you won't even be thinking about it. And I just wanted potatoes served 2 different ways. So just thinking about that as well. And then also food options could look different to different cultures as well. So it doesn't have to be like the chili and the side salad. It could be something different. Healthy eating does not mean just the stereotypical salad and unseasoned grilled chicken type thing. A lot of people, they say, oh, I'm going to go on a diet, or I'm going to start my new healthy journey, and all they eat is salads and unseasoned chicken. And it's like, what? So you don't have to do that. A healthy balanced meal could have lots of flavors. Many cultures have lots to offer, and you can expand your palate with a wide variety of foods and flavors as well. So like Greek foods, they have a lot of ingredients that incorporate fresh and fruits and vegetables, olive oils, and yogurts. Like the traditional Japanese diets also are rich in seafood and fresh vegetables. Traditional Mexican foods is rich in beans and fruits and vegetables as well. And so a lot of the times when we are going into restaurants, we see a lot of like the Americanized versions of different cultures' foods. And so it could be lots of cheeses and sour creams and things like that. But there are lots of different ways that you can eat still healthy, because a lot of food have the benefits of it, have lots of benefits, especially fresh fruits and vegetables. And so that's just something to think about if you are looking to, eat healthier, or that's something that you want to try to do for the next 8 weeks while you're with us. Then you can think beyond the salads and chicken. You can eat other things and still get the flavor and the satisfaction of the good food as well. And then we also want to try to get at least 2 food groups per snack. And so that could incorporate things like carbs, fats, and proteins. So you can do hard-boiled eggs and an apple, or yogurt and peach slices, veggies and hummus. For fiber, we want to try to aim for 2 or more grams for a snack. We want to try to get some snacks that are lower in sugar, lower in salt, and saturated fats as well, but then also have good sources of vitamins and minerals, just so that we can get that balance as well. And so this is just also what this My Plate method looks like. You can get your vegetables, starch, protein foods, milk, and fruit on the side as well. So some advantages and disadvantages of the My Plate is that you can see like the portion control of it, or you can also get different variety in the balance of nutrients. But some of the disadvantages doesn't address fat, like fat in foods, and then doesn't capture combination foods like the casseroles and the tacos and the pastas. And so if you just think about, when I'm looking at my plate, you can think, well, in my meal, do I have a protein? Do I have a grain? Do I have my vegetables? Do I have a fruit? Do I have some dairy in here? And so that is one ways that we can go around our combination foods and things like that. And then also we can think about choosing healthier oils. So we can choose less often saturated fats. Those are animal fats, and trans fats as well, and choose more often the monounsaturated fats like olive oils or canola oils, peanut oils. The saturated fats are the ones that are solid at room temperature, so like bacon fat and butters and things like that. And so those are the ones that we want to try to avoid. But all fats and oils are high in calories, so just choose the ones that matter the most to you. And so it really just depends on what you are looking for in your diet as well. And so the word of the week is planning. While we talk about planning healthy meals, the word of the week is planning. So if you come to our Fresh on Deck locations, you can get up to $10 off of any purchase at the one location that you come to. So it's one per week. The word of the week changes every Monday. So we'll see you next Monday if you want to come back and get another word of the week. But the word of the week is planning. So make sure that you write that down, and when you come to us at our locations and let us know that you have the word of the week, we're going to ask you what the word of the week is, and you're going to tell us, and then you can scan your basket or whatever. You shop first, then you come up, and then you will scan your basket, take the $10 off, and then you can go about your day with your produce. And so the word of the week is planning. One more time, planning. Okay. So We can also think about making or using pre-made menus when we are planning our meals. So that is just does a little of that extra planning beforehand. Choosing whole grains at least half the time, and then at least 1 cup of non-starchy vegetables at lunch and supper. Eating fruit for breakfast, those are just ways that you can incorporate fruit, because we don't really think about it unless it's a snack or something like that. So you can eat your fruit in the morning for desserts or for snacks. And then also we want to try to eat more whole fruit more often than drinking the whole juice, like the not the whole juice, drinking juice, the 100% fruit juice, excuse me. And so we want to think about eating more whole fruit instead, because you get a lot more those nutrients, you get fiber and things like that when you eat the whole fruit instead of the 100% fruit juice. Okay, we got it. And then also when we think about our planning our healthy meals, this can help as well with portion control for when we go out to eat. And so we see like a deck of cards is the right amount of portion for a meat, poultry, fish, and seafood. We want to try to limit added fats, rarely fry our foods, limit our alcohols and sugary drinks. But this is something that you can look at here. So the meat, poultry, fish, and seafood, you'll see it'll be about like the palm of your hand. That is what this is, or a deck of cards. And then if you have a fist, 1 cup, or it could be like a tennis ball size if you can visualize it that way, of cooked rice, pastas, and ice creams. 1 domino or 4 dice is 1 ounce of cheese. A medium piece of fruit is a baseball, and that's like a serving of fruit. 1 teaspoon of butter or margarine is 1 die, just one of them. A small baked potato is a computer mouse. And 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, jam, salad dressing is a golf ball. And then 1 ounce of chocolate is a packet of dental floss. And so if you visualize it in that way, seeing that those are ways that you can eat out as well and still get the portion control when we're eating. And then also making healthy eating affordable, because everything in the grocery store is expensive. The good food, I mean, not the good food, but the fresh fruit and vegetables are expensive. The canned foods and vegetables are expensive. The frozen fruits and vegetables are expensive. Everything's expensive, but we want to avoid those types of convenience foods, like things that are pre-cut or marinated or already ready to eat foods. Yes, it is a little bit quicker, just a little bit. But if you go home and you cut up the onion yourself, it'll probably be a lot more, not probably, it is a lot more cheaper than those pre-cut produce as well. And then we also want to try to get a good mix of fresh, frozen, and canned fruits and vegetables, because it does depend on your lifestyle. If you have a very busy lifestyle and you're rarely at home, then buying fresh might not be for you, because it might be sitting at the bottom of your refrigerator rotting before you get a chance to get to it because you've been out of the house all week. And so buying frozen and canned can be more of convenience for you because it's already there. All you gotta do is drain it. And especially if you purchase the low sodium or no sugar or salt added canned produce, then that is, you're still getting the same nutrients as well as frozen. If you're just getting the frozen bag of broccoli and not the frozen bag of broccoli and the butter garlic sauce or something like that, that's what we want to try to avoid with the frozen. But if you're just getting the fruit or just the vegetable in that frozen, it is good convenience as well, because it's already frozen. All you have to do is pop it in the microwave, pop it on the stove, and thaw it out that way. And then also we want to try to buy vegetables and fruits in season, because we have found that that is a lot cheaper, especially when you go to like farmers markets or things like Fresh on Deck. You can get a lot of vegetables and fruits for cheaper. We can also protein swaps. So everything doesn't have to be just your meat. You can try beans and lentils and non-meat proteins as well and get your protein in that way. And you can also try to choose the store brands because usually it is comparable to the big box or the national brands as well. We try to save money by not buying the junk foods and eating less of it, adding in more fresh fruits and vegetables, and then planning meals ahead, making a shopping list, and then also using coupons as well. Or shopping the BOGO sales. That's my favorite thing to do. Buy one, get one. I'll have one for this week and I'll have one for next week. And so it just depends on what store you shop at. In the apps, you can usually, a lot of the grocery stores now have apps or their websites where you can click the digital coupons and get it that way as well. And so this is a physical activity suggestion. I like showing these, like I was saying in session A, but then also I'll be saying this for the next 8 weeks in session B, that I like giving these physical activity suggestions just so that if you are looking to be more active, or you don't know where to start, or you don't want to go outside because it's hot outside, or I only have time in my office, or whatever the case may be, only have 10 minutes. And so this is one of the ways, or some of the ways, that you can just be active, and you can start small. Small steps are still steps into whatever goals that you have. And so this is just a 10-minute walking at home workout for people that might look like you, people that might not look like you. I like to give different options just so that if you're feeling motivated and you want to see somebody that looks like you, there's a whole internet out there for you to see the people, just so that you can see people in your body doing things that you want to try to do as well. So I'm going to just show you all a small clip of this, just so you can get an idea of it. And then in the next few slides, I have my email address. If you want to get the full video, then just send me an email and I can send it to you that way. So give me just a moment.
What's up, guys? This is Beginner Plus.
So I like those videos like that because they have the music to it, or if you are a dancing person, then they have lots of dancing type of videos on the YouTube pages. Or if you have physical limitations, then they have upper body ones, they have lower body ones, they have sitting yoga, they have sitting cardio, all the different types of things. So if you're just wanting to start out and see what you're looking for, then you can also give those a try. But I would advise to talk to your primary care physician or your doctor before you start to get, just so that you all have that conversation beforehand. But then just some take-home messages for this week is using pre-made menus, My Plate, just to plan some meals, filling half of your plates with non-starchy vegetables. Think about when, what, and how you eat just to be more mindful, and then look for some low-cost healthy food options as well. So before, when we were talking about setting our goals, how can we turn our big goals into smaller, smart goals that can help us build habits? Because we all have goals that we want to have. Sometimes we have them just up here in our heads and we know what we want to do, but how do we do it? Sometimes we have people that have their journals and like writing it down and they don't know how to start from there. And so this is just one way that you can turn your bigger goals into smaller goals. So somebody's goal could be, I'm going to eat healthy, and that is a great goal, but it is also a very big and very broad goal, because there are many ways to eat healthy, just what looks best for you or what you want to do for yourself. And so things you should think about is, how can we make it S for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, R for realistic, and T for time bound? And so like I was saying before, my goal is not your goal, which is not the next person's goal. And so everything can be customizable just for you. And so this new person's goal is beginning this weekend, I'll fill 2/3 of my plate with fruits and vegetables at every meal 4 days a week. And like I said, that is somebody else's goal. That might not be my goal. And so that could be a little bit daunting for somebody to 4 days a week at every meal, like, and you just getting started. And so you can change that for yourself. Is beginning this week, I'll fill 2/3 of my plate with fruits and vegetables at one meal 3 times this week or 4 times this week, whatever makes you feel more comfortable to get started. And so that is how you can make it realistic, just making it specific, making it measurable so that you can see your goal and the progress that you're making. Get a little calendar and check off every meal that you do, write it down in your phone so that you have it. Making it attainable, making sure that you have all the tools and the time and the resources to be able to achieve your goals and not setting yourself up for failure. R is being realistic. Like, is this a actual small achievable goal, or is this something that needs to be broken down just a little bit more further so that you can make it more achievable? And T is time bound, for having a start date, having frequency, and then also having a deadline as well. So the start date could be this weekend, or it could be starting tomorrow, or it could be starting next Monday, whatever the case may be. Frequency could be, at one meal 3 times a week. And then your deadline is you can do for the remainder of Fresh on Deck. So for the next 8 weeks, that's what you're going to do, or for the next 2 weeks, and you up it for the next 2 weeks, and then up it for the next 2 weeks until you get to the bigger goal that you have. And so also another one could be, another big goal could be, I want to exercise more. And that is a great goal to be able to get moving. And so you can turn that into, beginning Monday, I'll do at least 30 minutes of activity 5 days a week. And like I said, that's somebody else's goal. So that might not apply to you. That might not apply to me. So you can do, I'll do at least 5 minutes of activity 2 days a week, and start small. Because if you just jump into doing, I'm going to run for 30 minutes for the next 5 days, is that realistic? Is that attainable? Is that something that you can be able to keep up? Probably not, especially when you're first getting started. No. So starting smaller, I'm going to do 5 days a week, or 5 minutes a week of activity, 5 minutes of activity, for 3 days a week. And then until 2 weeks from now. And then I'll revisit my goal, and maybe I'll up it to 10 minutes, and then I'll up it to 15 minutes the next time, until you're getting to that 30 minutes a day, and making sure that it's realistic for you and in the time that you can do it. So that's just something that you all want to keep in mind when you are making your goals. If you do have goals that you have, they're all up here in your head, you might want to write them down just so you can see them, so you can see your goal. So once again, my name is Jamil Hawkins. I'm the Family Consumer Sciences Agent for DeKalb County Extension, but I also will be teaching these classes with you every Monday from 12 to 1 on Facebook Live and on Zoom with our healthy living classes with Fresh on Deck. My email address is JAM as in Mary, ILLE, Hawkins, HAWKIN as in Nancy, S @uga.edu. So if you have any more questions, or if you want that video of the exercise video, the physical activity video, then you can send me a message. But then also we'll have our recording of this class on our website, freshondeck.com. So if you know somebody that is not on social media, that couldn't make it to today's session, that still wants that word of the week, but you have to be able to watch our video to get the word of the week, then you can direct them to our website, freshondeck.com. Facebook page is also Fresh on Deck. And then our Instagram is also Fresh on Deck. And then on the right side, I ask you all every week, and I'm going to continue to ask you all to please fill out our evaluation for this week. And then next week, I'll ask you to fill out another evaluation for next week's. And then the next week after that, I'm going to ask you to fill out an evaluation for that one as well for the next 8 weeks. And so here's the QR code. You can scan it with your phone camera, but then there's also this small short bit.ly link that you can use as well in your web browser. So I'll come back to that just so you can have it. But this is our schedule. Starting tomorrow, we will be at a whole new locations for Fresh on Deck. We did our 8 weeks session A, and now we're at another, we're in our session B now. And so Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll be at Embark Community Youth Farm off Rock Chapel Road in Lithonia. From 12 to 2, we'll be at the Norris Lake Community in Snellville. It's right on that Gwinnett DeKalb County line, so we can make sure that we're up in that area as well. Wednesday from 9 to 11 we'll be at the South DeKalb Senior Center. Wednesday from 12 to 2 we'll be at Stone Mill Elementary School in Stone Mountain. Thursday we'll be at Rita and Rec Center. Thursday afternoon from 12 to 2 will be at the Crest Center off Candler Road. Friday we'll be at the Starnes Senior Community in Clarkston, and then also we'll be at the DeKalb County Extension Office off Memorial Drive, across from DeKalb County Jail, right after 285. So we will be out and about hopefully all week. We have cabbages this week, we have kale this week, we have other fruits and vegetables this week. And so make sure that you come, because you have joined our class, you get that word of the week, and we will see you all next week. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.